I just want to say a few words on behalf of the grassroots education movement. Okay, our position is against charter schools. Already these schools have created disparate treatment in the schools. You have the charter schools taking over space. They're getting money pumped into them from the corporate sector, money which should be going into the regular public schools, and they're beginning to split our community, not just here in PS 123, but in PS 241, and PS 160 in Co-op City. It's happening throughout the city. So we want our politicians to take stands against charter schools because it's beginning to lay the groundwork for the privatization of not just part of this building, but the whole building, and the whole public school system. So that's what it's all about. It's about privatizing and getting rid of senior teachers, pushing them out. What's going to happen here are more teachers are going to end up ATR'd and out of the regular public school system, and they get pushed out. In other cities, they're getting fired. They're getting fired because they don't want to put the money into teachers' pensions, into teachers' healthcare system. You know, so that's what's happening. They want a cheaper labor teaching force. So what we want to do is end the charterization here in New York City, here in the country. So we're trying to build on a local and national level. But one thing that's not expressed in the discussion around school governance is that the whole push for mayoral control is not just about power-hungry Bloomberg. It's about getting a mayoral control to push this privatization agenda. So he's going full force behind people's back, behind the community's backs, to push these charter schools. And he has a limit in New York State of 100 charter schools. So he's going to get to that 100 if he can by September. And that's how I see it. And then they'll have the ground troops to further push and break those limits to make it an unlimited number of charter schools, which that's what's on the federal agenda, Obama's agenda. So we have to go not only local level, but on a national level. I'd like to see if maybe someone else like George Schmidt, who has had this experience in Chicago, can address us about his experience there and with the union. Oh, by the way, our union is supporting charter schools. Our union is supporting mayoral control. So we have two fights on our hands. We have to deal with holding our politicians accountable and holding our union accountable to democratic processes in our school. And this is an example of a lack of democracy, and I'm calling out all organizations to join this because this is an example of dictatorial control of our schools. And this is what happens when our community is split. Thank you.
George. All right. Go ahead, George.
George Schmidt. Substance newspaper.
I'm with Substance. My name is George Schmidt. I'm with Substance newspaper in Chicago. I'm with CORE, which is in Chicago, the Coalition of Rank and File Educators. All I can say here is welcome to Chicago. I mean, I came up to Harlem today. My family's visiting here in New York City, but this is the Chicago plan. This is what we had 6 years ago when our union began selling out public schools and supporting charters, when our union took a dive under mayoral control and said, well, we can live with it. And when they began allowing charter schools to become infections, and that's what I call them in Chicago, inside a public school building. It's like getting a virus. If you don't treat it, if you don't eliminate it, in fact, it will spread. This could be Wadsworth Elementary School on the south side of Chicago, one of Chicago's 300 segregated all-black public elementary schools. Chicago's the most segregated city in the USA, in case you didn't know that. This could be Wadsworth Elementary School, which 6 years ago gave a couple of classrooms to the University of Chicago charter schools. By the end of the next year, the whole floor was taken, then 2 floors. Now Wadsworth is the University of Chicago Charter School South Campus. This could be Suter Elementary School on Chicago's west side, where the same thing happened. You have got to stop it when it starts like you're doing here, and secondly, you have got to stop it without illusions. I mean, I voted for and worked for Barack Obama, and I knew him when he was supporting mayoral control And this stuff is an Illinois state senator in Chicago.
Wow.
We published a picture of Barack Obama with my wife and child on page 1 of Substance after he was elected. And he's a very nice man. He's also a ruthless, neoliberal, plutocratic empire builder. And what he gave to public education, as soon as he had the power to presidency, was Arne Duncan, who's going to put the Chicago plan across the USA if he is not stopped. A key to stopping him and that plan has got to be to stop the unions from selling out. The only reason that President Obama could appoint Arne Duncan, U.S. Secretary of Education, is that he could say, well, the unions don't mind him, and quote our local president, Madeline Stewart, and the international, until recently president local here, Randy Weingarten, say, oh, we can get along with these guys. In fact, Arne Duncan's agenda in Chicago is to destroy public schools just like you're witnessing here. Only in Chicago it's much further along because our opposition wasn't able to get organized in time, and we lost a big thing when we lost the presidency of the union. I wish you luck. I'm sure if everybody else from Chicago was here, we'd be marching with you, just like Angel marched with us a month ago on June 19th. I walked out of the Hyatt Hotel from, covering a story with Arne Duncan, and there's Angel on the sidewalk carrying
New York, Chicago.
New York, Chicago. You gotta stop it. You gotta stop it. You gotta end the disease here now.
All right.
We should make a chant now.